lumabas.
Starting five brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. PASIG will roll out a five of Jesky Latan, Jerome Garcia, Mark Montuano, Chito Jaime, and Warlo Batak. Nueva Ecija naman with JP Calvo, Byron Villarias, Will Macaloni, Rob Celis, and John Wilson. Referees for this ball game, Edmar Aves, Maynard Centeno, Leonardo Layosa. Their fourth referee is Efren Aganan. And again, Pasig City is playing without Robbie Manalang, probably their best point guard. At napalaking bagay yan, no? Because as John Wilson attacks, immediately missing para dito sa Nueva Ecija. Napalaking bagay, Coach Mike, para sa Pasig, no? Kasi they were able to snap their 6-game losing skid against Muntinlupa. And most of that, yung string of losses nila, was because Robbie Manalang wasn't part of their lineup.
Yeah, I feel that he really is a key part of the rotation, lalo na sa Guardia. He brings so much versatility and even scoring para dito sa Pasig. And so to not have him here in this game would mean that other guards should really step up para dito sa Pasig.
Sa panig naman ng Nueva Ecija, JP Calvo again starting. So JC Marcelino and JV coming off the bench this time. Yan yung sinubukan nila, no, against sa Bataan. And it certainly worked dahil ang ganda nung nilaro ni JC off the bench.
Yeah, napakaganda ng ano. I guess it benefits him because he sees a lot more of what's going on to start the game. And I feel what's important is that, you know, yung adjustment sa kanya once na nakapasok na siya sa loob. And this is also a good time for JP Calvo to, you know, insert himself, make himself, you know, comfortable starting for the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
Kumbaga, hitting two birds with one stone yan.
Yeah, I agree. Both those guys, both those guards, at some point, especially in the playoff, they gotta perform. And for them to be early here in this part of the season, lalo na, you know, almost pretty secure na sila in the top 3, you gotta get them in the flow of things.
This is Robbie Celis who attacks, no good. By the way, Robbie Celis, also a former Bataan Ricer yan, ha?
Oo.
Robbie Celis, saka I'm missing one guy from Nueva Ecija. Dalawa sila dyan, eh. Ayan, si Robbie Celis. Lays it up and in for the first field goal para dito sa Nueva Ecija. Si Byron, sorry.
Si Byron Villarias, right. But definitely, Rob Celis is one of the, in my opinion, the steadiest Rice Vanguards throughout the games of Nueva Ecija. And every time na may pagkakataon makapunto siya, pupunto siya, i-score, i-rebound, assist. Kung ano kailangan ng team, yun ang binibigay nito ni Rob Celis. And so, he really is also, similar to how Robbie Manalang is, an important piece naman para dito sa Rice Vanguards.
Nakabutas din para sa Pasig si Chito Jaime. This is Byron Villarias who knocks down a three-pointer. So it's 5-2 Nueva Ecija in the early goings of this ball game.
One thing also that I like, Ken, with Byron Villarias starting for them is when he starts hitting threes to start the game, it really brings in a good flow, not just for him, but even for the Rice Vanguards.
Ang bilis nung balik nito, ha? Warlo Batak. Inatake agad yung depensa ni Byron Villarias.
Malakas ang katawan, maganda ang footwork, and you know, he really is focused on that attack. And then the reason for that is, you know, kita niya open yung lane, eh. And I'm sure Coach Don Dula is not happy that you allowed the leading scorer of the Pasig just get in the paint and score on you.
Mintis nga lang yung bonus free throw. You know what? One thing I noticed with Warlo Batak, especially lately, no? I think he has really asserted himself para dito sa Pasig. Kasi nung una, as we see another shot, an attempt from the outside by Byron Villarias. Nung una, well, umaatake naman talaga siya. Pero minsan may tendency din siya to defer to his veteran teammates. Pero ngayon, I think he's recognizing that he's probably, arguably, now the go-to guy na pwedeng asahan para dito sa Pasig.
Agree. Tama ka doon. Sana talaga, eh. Matter of fact, if you look at his game, siguro ang missing piece na lang dyan would be yung three-point shooting where he's very low, roughly about 22%. He really is for the most part really a fast break, drive your lane kind of guy para dito sa Pasig. I like the space of Pasig right now.
Short yung tira galing sa labas ni Chito Jaime. Calvo with a basketball. Nueva Ecija with a 1-point lead. 7 minutes remaining. Will Macaloni tries another jumper. Celis with a rebound. Calvo gets inside the paint.
Nice
the up fake, but can't finish. Macaloni creating space and rolls that one through.
And that led, it really started with that middle pick and roll action between Will Macaloni and JP Calvo. Created some cross matches that allowed advantages underneath, and that happens to be Will Macaloni scoring over Chito Jaime.
Jerome Garcia over Will Macaloni, no good. Defensive rebound ni Mark Montuano. Something that PASIG has done really well is get to those second chance points, but that time around Warlo Batak called for the offensive foul.
That's one of the things that a young Warlo Batak would have to learn. You cannot just run over and run through everyone right in front of you. Sometimes you gotta go to your footwork. And this time, nauna na sa depensa doon si Byron, and he just went through him. You can't do that. Once that door is shut, you gotta find another way to go around the defense if you want to score.
Oh, basta John Wilson, magaling din mag-throw ng charge yan.
Oh.
Before that shot, it will not count. May foul na tinawag laban dito sa Pasig City.
Couple of shooters for the Rice Vanguards now on the floor. A good point guard, a solid big man, and one of the best wingmen on the floor right now for the Rice Vanguards. Definitely they mean business in this game.
Calvo got blocked. Warlo Batak off to the races. This time attacking the defense of John Wilson and scores.
And Warlo Batak really, to your point, single-handedly carrying the load here for Pasig. You know what, when he was playing last season para sa Muntinlupa, I already saw that potential in Warlo. Kaya lang, siguro because of his youth, to your point, early this season, nagdi-defer pa, pero ngayon take over na talaga siya.
25 years old pa lang tong batang ito, no? Warlo Batak. As a foul whistled on Nueva Ecija. Will go against Byron Villarias. Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme X Pop. Personal karaoke speaker, everyday karaoke.
This time he tried to elude that defense by going off a spin, dropping that ball on the left side and spinning on the middle to elude the defense of John. Good pass.
Montuano gets it back. Good ball movement by Pasig. The flyby, Garcia for free. Matik yan.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's one shot maker that they...
Full of hunger to prove that they are still very much in the game and now laser focused to the upcoming playoffs. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Yan ang may lagi sinasabi, no, na mas mabuti nang matalo ka dito sa elimination round. Kaysa ma-experience mo yan in the playoffs, wala ka ng chance to bounce back. And here, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to rectify everything. Masakit matalo. Definitely, they wanna go undefeated all the way kung if they had a choice. But I think the much better, longer-term plan for them is really ayusin nila yung mga perceived weaknesses in their arsenal, Coach Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Alam mo you have to remember when they got beat by Abra, I'm sure there are a lot of commitments that were renewed and the adjustments that will be made by the Rice Vanguards. This is just too good a team to just be slowing down after that loss. Similarly, ganun rin naman nangyari sa Abra nung tinalo sila ng Pasay, di ba? They felt they were indestructible until Pasay beat them in their game, and so far that's been the lowest scoring output para sa Abra in this season. And sometimes kailangan mong magkaroon ng ganyan mga talo to wake everybody up and to realize that there is so much work to be done.
And they still have that legitimate shot of finishing at number 1, because when you look at the situation, the remaining games from our teams, hindi pa nagtatapat ang Abra sa Asan 1 as Jerome Garcia scores underneath ng mga Pasig 13-11.
Yeah, and almost every team, lalo na those in the top 4, top 5, are, I feel, really looking forward to going up against Abra. And I'm sure itong Abra naman is very conscious. You see this again, a beautiful ball action. Very unselfish the Rice Vanguards. And that's just, Rob really struggled from the line. He shot only 40% from there, going 2 out of 5. But pretty much field goal shooting, everybody shooting about 55%.
Pero yung dalawang kasama niya doon, both great shooting displays from the free throw line.
That's right.
Jammer Amito as Chito Jaime with his second triple. Tubong dinalupian Bataan po ito, si Chito Jaime.
Almost playing at home, no?
Yeah.
Ganun yung pangaramdam niya siguro ngayon, Chito Jaime. I mean, you see the ball movement of the Rice Vanguards. That time, the ball swung from, side to side without any dribble. Unfortunately, that shot got missed, but you do love always that ball movement para dito sa Rice Vanguards. And after all, they're the #1 assist team, roughly averaging about 27 assists per game.
Masyado malakas yung tira galing sa labas. And Nueva Ecija will get the ball back, down by 3, 16-13, 2:20 left in the opening quarter. Marcelino Twins now in, along with Christian Manaytay, Billy Ray Robles, and Jesper Ayaay. Ayaay for 3, bounces out. Manaytay puts it on the deck. The pass inside, JC. Robles able to sneak in for the offensive rebound, and he will draw a foul.
I think they were going to challenge this. They feel that Chito Jaime really just had his hand up. And so Coach Aldrin Morante is going to call for a review and a challenge on that last foul.
Early coach's challenge from Coach Aldrin Morante
was successful. There was no foul.
Successful challenge from Coach Aldrin Morante. Let's take a look at this one.
Yeah, even on the first, when I first saw it, pretty much he just had his hand up as Billy was trying to go for an attempt downstairs. So this will be a baseline out of bounds for the Rice Vanguards.
Manaytay attacks. At may foul sa baba laban dito sa Pasig.
That's got to be one of the toughest, wingmen that can go inside. Arguably 3 or 4 pwede ito si Christian Manaytay, he's really very solid in the paint and trying to penetrate from the outside in. Good shot.
JC Marcelino able to knock down that shot. 16-15, Nueva Ecija down by 1.
So far, ginagawa nito Pasig, Ken, is they're turning to zone similar to how they did it against Muntinlupa. Oh. So they feel they got a better chance by playing zone against the teams.
Walang naging sagot yung Muntinlupa all throughout that game.
Right.
Sa zonang pinakita ng Pasig.
And you know what? I think that's just part of the genius of Coach Aldrin Morante, because coaches who go to zone actually would not want to contend against their #1 plays and schemes, which is normally man-to-man. So we'll test you with your second best schemes, which happens to be zone. Karamihan ng mga teams ngayon, hindi naman ganun kadalas nagbibigay ng mga maraming plays para sa zone. So it's really just very basic, ball on the nail or move the ball around side to side.
Top of the key 3 from Chito Jaime, way off the mark. Lamang na Nueva Ecija. 17-16, Rocky Asidre will check in for Warlo Batak.
Rocky also is one of those players from Pasig that the hope is to be performing similar to the level of Warlo Batak has performed for them.
Ayaay for 3, wala pa din. Robles na naman. Tapikan ng bola, finally ending up with Jacob Galicia. And a foul on the Rice Vanguard. It's gonna be against JC Marcelino. Hindi rin sila nalalayo dito from Olongapo. The Marcelino Twins. Coach Don Dulay, champion coach. Back in season 3 with the Davao Occidental Tigers. Actually, season 3 din naging magkakampi si Chito Jaime sa si Byron Villarias. Both played for Bataan. Season 2 naman si Toto saka si Robbie Celis.
Oo.
Na both times ang lakas ng Bataan nun
Oo, bigat. Yung palang dalawang yun, ang bigat na ng kombinasyon. How much more, let's see this good drive right here by Galicia will miss.
Outlet, Manaytay, no good. JC grabs the rebound. Robles off the glass to beat the buzzer. Napalakas lang. And that's gonna do it in the first quarter of
Ball movement itong Rice Vanguard. Will that ploy work? Well, so far it is because they're down only 1 at the end of 1. Navarro drew up a play. They ran a little spin that allowed Eman Calo to drive. Somehow he didn't make it after he got hit on that drive, and you know, that's been the rest of the way, surprisingly for Bacolod.
Mark Montuano opens things up in the second quarter with a jumper. Balik ulit ang labang sa Pasig City. A lot of lead changes so far in this match. Isa na namang lead change dahil dun sa tira from the baseline by Billy Ray Robles.
Dito mo makikita yung halaga ng perimeter shooting, Ken, no? Pagdating sa mga zona. I mean, on man, one can say 3-pointers, and as Jasper Ayay tried to stuff it in, but went the easy route. Yun ang importansya ng ng perimeter scoring against the zone.
And oftentimes kasi ang misconception when an opposing defense gets into a zone, it opens up the three-point shot. Pero if you move the ball around really well, like Nueva Ecija does, you find those creases in the defense.
And the important thing there is to keep passing the ball, keep moving it around side to side, high and low, and you catch that defense pretty much late. As you see a 3 right there by JC, and that would be the point of attack pag late na yung rotation ng depensa.
9-3 run. And something that Pasig should be wary of is giving up turnovers, because instantly Nueva Ecija will turn it into points.
Well, Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards is the #1 offensive team in this season, and it started off with the defensive end. They ran that break 3 versus 2, good spacing until that finish by Ayay.
Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme X Play on the go speaker. Take your music anywhere.
And you love that, you know, the floor was properly spaced, and these guys really know how to run that break. Rarely did that ball, if never, touch the floor, because they just kept moving that ball around. And well, that's the thing also, Ken, about the Rice Vanguards. You cannot afford to be sloppy against this team, because they make you pay with points off turnovers, and they're the #1 team in making you pay for your mistakes.
12-2 run na ito from the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Mark Montuano, elbow jumper, won't work. Rebound again, controlled by Billy Ray Robles.
And when we talk about efficiency, that's very important if you're going up against the Rice Vanguards. We're not just talking about passing the ball the right way, but making shots, because if you miss, they will find a way to run on you.
Nasa loob na si Josan Nimes for Pasig City. Gadin, binabantayan ni Christian Manaytay. Gadin has the speed advantage, but can't turn the corner. In fact, drag his pivot foot. Turns the ball over for Pasig City.
Gadin had the right thing in mind. He saw that that post area on the right side of the floor was open, so it was going to be a chase for that open space. If he gets there first, he gets the layup. But the thing is, he wasn't able to beat the defense of Christian Manaytay.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. JC, skip pass. MJ Ayay, pupukul ulit sa 3. Wala pa din. Babalik ang bola kay JC Marcelino. Atake siya. Gets the basket. And a bonus free throw coming up after that foul.
Ang mahirap nun, nakuha ni JC Marcelino sa left side ng floor kung saan napaka-komportable niya at ang lakas ng katawan to finish.
Play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. Your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Tosi Tansingo is now in for Nueva Ecija as JC Marcelino completes the three-point play. 15-2 run now by the Rice Vanguards.
Most games played, most starts para sa Rice Vanguards. Itong si JC. And roughly averages about 19 minutes per game.
Actually, first game off the bench niya Yung previous game nila against Bataan, no?
Right.
So sumubok ng bago to si Coach Don Dulay, bagong kombinasyon, as finally Gadin snaps that run by the Rice Vanguards. But they're now staring at a 10-point deficit, 30-20.
Pero kita mo rin yung yung commitment nitong PASIG sa zone, no? Yung close outs, yung stunts, you see it. They fake defense and then they take where the ball is. Sipag din It takes a lot to be able to do that. But on the other end, while you're defending one way, kailangan mo naman pumunta sa kabila.
JV, Tancinco for 3, too strong. Nimes with the basketball. Josan Nimes. Pass intended to Chito Jaime, almost got by Tosi Tancinco. Sa poste, Chito Jaime. Ball will stay with Pasig City.
I don't think Josan Nimes had the right angle for that pass intended for Chito Jaime. They saw that there was a positional advantage with Chito Jaime underneath. Pero hindi maganda yung angulo ng pasa. Could have been better kung binaba pa ng konti doon sa wing para mas maganda yung angulo ng pasa papunta kay Chito sa poste.
Warlo Batak, too strong. Hamito will give that shot.
Oh yeah. And that pretty much is the weakest part of the game. Warlo Batak, good pass inside.
Biglang nalibre si Billy Ray Robles with 4 foot.
Bataan
Wala ay Boss Buddy.
You like the support that you're getting from Boss Buds.
15-4 ang talaan natin in the second period. Kasi kanina, Coach Mike, isa lang yung lamang nitong Nueva Ecija. Nagpapalitan lang tayo ng lamang nung first quarter. They have certainly turned on the Jets as JV gets himself on the board with a steal and a basket. Meanwhile, let's go courtside to Miss Lyra Punsalan.
Coach Aldrin Morante is carrying the weight for PASIG today with just 10 players suiting up. At ang pinaka-challenge daw talaga ay yung kulang nila sa bigs. He said, pero kahit ubusan na nga ng hininga ang mga laro nila lately, he is super proud of how his boys have been showing up with heart and hustle against a powerhouse like Nueva Ecija. Coach remains hopeful. Push lang ng push, he said, lalo na't may good news rin naman. Si Manalang daw is set to return next game from his hamstring injury and Tamayo din soon from his knee strain. Tuloy lang ang laban kahit bitin sa pahinga, never kulang sa puso. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Lyra. Those are gonna be key additions for PASIG. Robbie Manalang, Lester Tamayo, especially Robbie Manalang na ang tagal nang nawala, no? And it's very glaring, Coach Mike, how they're lacking that guy who could initiate some offense para dito sa PASIG.
And let alone make shots from the outside, once that ball gets swung. Napakahalaga ng mga made baskets ito ni Robbie Manalang. Again, Billy Robles underneath, deepest span offensively, right there behind the defense, and just an easy basket again for Billy.
Just like that, a 25-4 run by Nueva Ecija.
Sabi ni Lyra kanina, sabi ni Coach Aldrin, di ba? Yung pagod nila with the hustle and everything in the last game against Muntinlupa, that primarily was because of yung defense, no? Yung so na nila maganda yung rotation. Pero dito, feeling ko pagod rin sila at this very early part of the game, primarily because they've been committing a lot of mistakes at nagta-turn into puntos para dito sa Rice Vanguards. That one, another turnover.
Normally, they really do a good job taking care of the basketball, but different story, especially we're going up against a very vaunted defense in Nueva Ecija.
As a matter of fact, halos pareho lang sila ng number of turnovers per game, roughly about 13 per game itong Nueva Ecija and PASIG, but Nueva Ecija turning on the tighter screws when it comes to the defense and making them commit mistakes and paying for it.
Joe Garcia coming in, returning for PASIG. Hamito is now at the line. This free throw ay hatid sa atin ng Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Alam mo, masingit ko lang, Coach Mike. Nasa Orion kasi tayo eh. Kaya alam mo yung si What Happened Bella. Taga dito yun eh.
Oh yeah, alam ko.
Di ba? Mangingisda dito yun sa Orion. Si Taylor Lautner. Baka gusto ma-meet ni Miss Lyra Punsalan.
Pero napanood ko yun yung feature sa kanya that he does, come from here in Orion.
Di ba?
Yeah. Sabi ko nga when me and Doors were watching that, di ba dun yun sa court na kinokopera nyo? Sabi ko sa akin ni Doors. And I said, yeah. But hopefully we see him if he watches games here.
Oh, malapit ka lang naman. Mga gusto mong pumunta dito sa loob at
Oo.
paunlakan mo ang aming mga laro dito sa MPBL. Lalo nalalapit na po ang playoffs.
Open invite from Ken Pangilinan, ano?
Siyempre. Ay, si foul dito si Amito.
Yep.
Just like that, Coach Mike, this run continues to grow. It's now 27-4.
And the passes have not been crisp. And the defense of the Rice Vanguards really shutting down gaps and not giving the angles that they need.
Tosi. Uy! That basket will not
That
count.
shot- Oh, I thought that shot should have counted. I think that was one motion.
Yun nga eh. Yun yung kino-contest
Uh-huh.
ng Nueva Ecija. Sabi naman ni referee Edmar Avis, tinalbog muna. JP Calvo returns for Nueva Ecija. Tosi, papunta kay John Wilson. Bounce back, pabalik kay Tosi Tancinco. And a rebound after the miss by Mark Montuano.
I thought that was a beautiful pass by John Wilson to the slip underneath.
Jay Gars can't hit. Calvo pushing in the pace. And he will go to the line for 2 free throws. JP Calvo.
Well, much as Kilatan committed that foul, you got to commend the guy for going down defensively and giving that foot chase with JP Calvo.
JP Calvo came from Parañaque to start the season. Now finding himself with Nueva Ecija. Ano rin ito bukod sa naglaro sa Letran, alam naman natin yan, Coach Mike, naglaro din sa Wasyong ito, no?
Talaga?
Oo, siyempre nakita natin Alumni League nila Coach Christian Luanzon, nakalaban nila yan at naging champion sila. Sila James Yap, Ken Bono, Ragni Cinco,
Right.
dyan din nanggaling si JP Calvo.
Oh, that's an interesting fact. Now, the thing about JP Calvo, as we saw his numbers earlier, aside from scoring 4.3 points in the 3 games that he's played, he's actually leading the team when it comes to assists. He's at 5.3 assists per game. And matter of fact, he's even second when it comes to steal. And so, maybe not scoring so much, but doing a lot of things on the other stat lines, dishing and defending. Push, yeah.
Offensive foul, laban kay John Wilson.
Yan, sinusubukan niya mag-create ng space to set up that fan away action with, I think that was Byron the other side. Pero bago nangyari yung pasa, nakatulak na siya at nakita siya ng ating officials and got called for that foul.
PASIG kanina pa hindi nakapuntos dito. Coach Mike, napako na sila sa 20 points.
And then the numbers, the shot attempts, hindi maganda yung quality. And at the same time, the angle of pass is not really that good. See if he can beat down itong si Rob Celis down on the low block.
Easier said than done, but a gorgeous up and under from Jerome Garcia.
Yeah. And the Tigers actually trusted the defense of Rob Celis to be able to beat him to that space and not bite on the pump fakes and the footwork of Jagars. But Jagars did a good thing of taking off Rob Celis, getting that shot.
So unfortunate for Mark Montuano. He had a chance to grab the defensive rebound but lost his footing. And John Wilson able to capitalize.
Yun ang nakakadagdag siguro sa pagod rin ngayon para dito sa PASIG. Nakuha mo na yung rebound pero naagawan ka pa rin sa backcourt.
Agaw na naman. Calvo. Pasa palabas kay John Wilson for free. Bounces out. Tapikan ng bola. Warlo Batak. Outlet papunta kay Jerome Garcia. Off the glass and in. Back-to-back buckets by J. Gars.
And there really is no need for Rob Celis to be doing extra work on defense. He pretty much had his hand up against that attack by Jay Gars.
Jamaramito.
Oh,
Turnaround jumper rolling out. Ball will stay with Nueva Ecija.
yeah, that should stay with the Rice Vanguards.
Hickser, great move of the game, born for greatness. Ito yung up and under kanina ni Jerome Garcia.
Actually, hindi niya mabeat dun sa space na open eh. Pero ginamitan niya ang pump fake and footwork to be able to deceive the defense of Rob Celis.
Batak skies high for the board. Garcia on the left side. Time winding down in the second period. Jess Kilatan, pasa palabas kay Warlo Batak. Floater will not drop. Garcia is free for a free, no good. And the rebound ends up with Robbie Celis. 7 seconds remaining. Calvo back to Celis. Bola natabik ni Montuano. Still enough time for Pasig City. Batak goes all the way.
Oh,
Let's see if it will count. It sure looked
look
good.
like a travel.
Isa pa yun. It's 26.